Hi everybody. Today I want to do a basic 101 presentation about smartphones and also how they started a lot simpler. There's not much of a debate when people want to decide on a burner phone or a so-called dumb phone or a smartphone. It's a matter of personal choice. What you can say for sure is that the smartphones have the apps and the internet connection and the SMS for messaging, and of course the burner phones and things like that can be kind of limited that way. They don't necessarily have an internet connection. What they have in common, though, the burner phones and the dumb phones, they have a simple no contract type of plan. You refill them if you want to. You don't really have your identity tied to it. Again, nothing bad to say about it. But when it comes to features, I don't want to just have to say it's a personal opinion, but when it comes to features and operating systems, hardware, how many gigabytes you can store on it, they don't necessarily compare, obviously, to some of the newer smartphones. The Samsung Galaxy S23, you can choose that in a 128 gigabyte or 250, I think it is, gigabyte hard drive. And that's huge. And that phone has the most modern Android 13 operating system there is, which means if you're really, really into apps and you really want to have the most modern version of YouTube, TikTok, any app you can think of, you're not going to be told that you don't have enough a sufficient operating system to do that for a long time. It's for people that really want to keep up with their apps. So people that want to cater to that do bother to get some of the newer operating systems defined by, Android's 13 at this point. And for iOS, I'm not even really sure what that is at this point. But what matters is that for people who love their smartphones, that they can keep up with the iOS operating system for their app store, and likewise the Android for the 13. If they have Android 13, they're in luck because they won't have compatibility issues with their apps. Apps can be everything from banking to all that. So here's where we start to lose track, and you look at how many people actually care for the old, burner type prepaid phones, which really aren't internet connected necessarily. There's just no contract, no fuss, they don't have the same features. So I don't see how you can talk about one without the other. A lot of people still love their dumb phones. They're simply not touchscreen. They're simply not internet connected. So there's big differences there. And in those big differences, I thought I'd just take a moment to say, a basic 101 to cover some good decisions with, choices for smartphones, which is what this video is about, can be as simple as, describing the dumber phones, the not so internet connected ones, and recommending different models like TracFone or, say, for example, AT&T Go Phone, and how you can enroll them online for auto pay so that you don't have your number lapse. Those are your only obligations at all, and you can own the phone right away. So, that's good. I think at a certain point, everyone starts there. I, for one, like most people, have gotten so far into, the apps and, finding out if one of my iOS operating systems is too old to get the newest version of TikTok. Well, that automatically points me in the version of a new Android, the Samsung Galaxy S23. It's about a $1,200 phone. So getting that is a little different for those that do have the burner phones and the dumb phones. A lot more money and different ways to get it. You can either just buy a phone like that outright for $1,200, a Samsung Galaxy. If you do that, the SIM card's already unlocked. So You can get a third-party carrier cheaply and put that in, and save yourself a lot of money there. Or you can go to a brick and mortar store like T-Mobile or AT&T, and actually just sign on to a $25 installment plan for a few years and be bound to their terms of service, like having to keep them as your carrier, even if you don't like AT&T's towers and their customer service. So you have to wait. But people do keep up with the newest smartphones, and that's one way to get them. It's one way. I've seen videos where people, just say, no matter what, just save your money, save your $1,200 and go and get it at Best Buy, or go and get it somewhere else on eBay outright. Because at that point you have an unlocked SIM. But you can't tell people what to do, and I'm certainly not intending to do that. But these are your options when it comes to smartphones. You can tell it's not driven by the cost of the phone. It's actually the fact that some of these companies like AT&T and T-Mobile, they do make money if you're on a contract, even if you're paying them $25 a month. But your plan that you pick with them is not necessarily the most reasonable one that you would want anyway. Not until you get your SIM card unlocked. So not to banter back and forth between the two, but the Dumbphones, basically, after a while, I think after a year of consecutive use with some of them, you can actually have them unlock your SIM card for you so you can get a carrier of your choice. So if you start with a track phone, you might end up getting a US mobile service. So it is what it is. A lot of us started there with the burner phones. Most people call them prepaid. They're just limited with their features. Obviously, if it's not a touch screen, and it doesn't have, the app, apps and all that, it's going to be dramatically different from a smartphone. So these days you can actually buy, smartphones as prepaid phones. And you think about it, Consumer Cellular and those types of companies, you get a smartphone. Even TracFone will do this for you. So in the end, the only difference you really have is like comparing it to the newest Samsung Galaxy S23 I mentioned, which has so much storage on it and has such a new operating system on it that it always leaves something to be desired. So sometimes, it's good to settle for what you want. Other times it's good to know, little bits of pieces of information that I might have thrown in this video might help a bit. But, to be steered in the right direction, you realize you don't actually need a Samsung Galaxy S23 to have a smartphone. That could be a track phone on a prepaid plan. And you just enroll it online to auto refill. There's really no one who could say you need more. But when it comes to the really expensive phones, I'm not even sure what I would do for the Samsung Galaxy S23. I don't think I would pay it outright, but I would like to. Say unlocked SIM is a nice feature to have. Then you can go with whatever carrier you want. But it's food for thought, because there's a lot of choices out there. And I just wanted to say with the confusion, what most people would call a burner phone and a prepaid phone, you now have smartphones that are prepaid. TracFone does it, AT&T does it. So, my thought is not to let anybody get caught up over their phone. As a matter of fact, phones made a lot of sense to begin with when it came to their plans and lack of contracts. So, I want a newer phone anyway. But anyway, thank you for letting me get this out there. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.